Just like other ERP systems, SAP stores its data in tables. Think of tables as neatly organized spreadsheets that keep massive amount of business information structured and easy to retrieve. But here's the kicker. SAP doesn't put everything about one object into a single table. Instead, you'll find multiple tables linked together for the same object. For example, customer master data isn't sitting in one place. It's spread across different tables, each holding a specific piece of puzzle. That's how SAP keeps data relational, flexible, and powerful. As an example, customer master data can be broken down to different tables. KNA1 is the foundation. It stores the customer's general information, things like name, industry, and basic identifier. Think of it as customer's business card. KNV1 is where the financial side comes in. It holds company level details like payment terms, reconciliation accounts, and dunning procedures. It's all about how this customer interacts with your company financially. KNVV contains the sales specific information. It covers sales areas, distribution channels, pricing procedures, and shipping conditions. Basically, it tells SAP how you sell to this customer. Several other supporting tables capture specialized details that extend beyond general and company level data. The ADRC table stores address information, ensuring consistency and reuse across the system. KNVP defines partner functions such as sold to, ship to, payer, and bill to, clarifying the roles a customer can play. KNVK holds contact person details, including names, phone numbers, and responsibilities. KNVK manages bank account information needed for payment and refunds, while last but not the least, KNVI records tax-related data such as VAT registration numbers and tax exemptions. Together, these tables provide a complete relational view of each customer, enabling accurate transactions to be processed through and their compliance. Now you may question, why do we need so many tables to support the same master data? Let me show you through a quick illustration. As mentioned earlier, KNA1 table contains customer general information. KNB1 shows the finance view. KNVV is the sales view. In this example, we have two customers, 100001 and 100002. Each of them is extended to 6 sales areas, which is defined as the combination of sales work, distribution channel, and division. On top of that, each of them is set up in 2 company codes, US01 and US02. Now for simplicity, I didn't include all the columns from each table, just the core ones. If you count the number of cells across the 3 separate tables, you'll get 70 cells in total. But what if we combine the 3 tables together, meaning one giant single table for general, sales, and finance data? Well, you'll end up with 108 cells. That's 38 cells more than before. So by splitting the data into specialized tables, SAP not only avoids redundancy and keeps things efficient, but it also makes sure updates happen in one place instead of being duplicated across dozens of rows. With all the foundational knowledge, let's dive into an SAP environment to practice our skills using T-code SE16N. As you may recall from my first video about SAP T-code, the T-code to browse tables again is SE16N. When you first landed on the home page, you will go to the upper left and then you will enter SE16N and then press enter. Once you're in the page, you will see the table that you looked up the most in the most recent time. So you may see a different table than I do. The last table I looked up is KNA1, and we can use this for demonstration. So you will find the table name in the field called database. And then I want to also bring your attention to the lower section where you will find all the available fields in this table. It has many different fields. So you may remember from the example I showed you earlier, I only used the core fields, which is customer number and then customer name. And then I have the industry as well. But as you can see here, it has way more information than that. All right, so right under database field where the table name goes, there is a field called max number of hits. So this value defaults to 500, and you can increase it or decrease as you wish. But I want to give you a piece of advice here. Many tables in SAP has hundreds of thousands of lines. So if you increase this to, let's say, 9,999 records, it will take significantly longer to run this table. So if you just want to get a taste of how the data looks like in the table, I would recommend keeping it at 500 or maybe even lower to speed up your running process. All right, let's click the execute button. It's a clock with a green check, or you can press F8 on your keyboard to trigger this. Now it would display only 500 customers with all the columns listed. And you can see not all the columns has data in it. Some do, some don't. All right. You may wonder, is there a way for me to selectively pick the columns you want to display? Because not a lot of them are blank columns. So there is a way to do that. Let's do green arrow back. So under this output column, and you can see all these checks. So you can uncheck them and only check the ones that you want to display. Let's say I only want to display 3 columns: customer number, name, and industry. So instead of unchecking each one of them, there is a button to do that. It's called deselect all. So I will only check customer number and then customer name. And I'm going to look for industry. And then I'm going to run this again. And you can see I only have 3 columns now. Okay, let's bring back all the columns, and I can show you how you can apply a filter to filter out just the data that you want to see. So for example, if you run this table without any max number of hits, you're gonna get about 4,000 plus rows. But what if I only want to see customers who's only located in US? How do I do that? How do I apply a filter like you do in Excel? So the way you do it is through this little button called operator. So you click it once, and then you select the one called equal to, and then do the green check. And in the from value, type US, and that's it. Don't worry about the to value because it's grayed out. Now, execute or F8. It will give you 14 customers who are located in the US. So we just reviewed how you can search for a customer who's located in the US. What if you want to do to select all the customers that is not in the US? So you simply use a different operator called not equal to. This will give you all the customers that's not in the US. going back. If you need to remove the filter you set, there is a button up above to do that called remove delete row. So if you want to select, if you want to delete the filter for this row, you just highlight the row and then click the delete row button. It will remove the filter. If you want to take a shortcut, just remove all the filters. There is a delete all entries. So now let's take it a step further. I want to select all the customers in North America. So first, North America has US, Canada, and Mexico. So how do I enter 3 values at the same time? So a way to do that is use the multiple selection option, which is next to the 2 value text box. There's a button here. So click on that, and then you enter US, Canada, and Mexico. Make sure you enter the 2-letter abbreviation. So the next step is click this transfer data. It's again that clock with a green check button. Please do not click the green check because that will not do anything. Click the one next to it. Now you are selecting 3 values altogether. So click execute or F8, and you will see again 14 records. So that tells me there's no customer in the system that's located in Mexico or Canada. Most people who use SE16N use it for data analysis, and they would find being able to export the data to Excel a very important function. So to do that is very, very easy. So first you execute, and then look for the button called export. It's this one right here. Click it and then select spreadsheet. If you do this the first time, it might take a little bit of time, so be very patient with it. Change the file name if you want to. For now, I'll leave it as it is. Make sure the Excel is selected. You can also do CSV if you want to. It's a little, this file size is a little smaller, so the running process definitely is faster. And click export to. Okay, now the dialog appears, so you just navigate to the folder you want to download this to. I'll put it into my download folder and then save. And the file will automatically launch after that. Yep, that's how you export the data into Excel. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to run a table in the background. Why do you run it in the background, you may ask? The reason you run it in the background is you don't want to tie up your work in the foreground. And when you run a table that has thousands of data, lines of data, it's beneficial to do that in the background. So to do it, we'll go to SE16N, we'll trigger the job from there, and we can still use the database table as KNA1, but change it to any table you would like to run, and then go to the background button. So click it. You need to define an output device, and you can select it from the dialog button here, green check, but usually you can just enter LOCL, that's local, and then with the green check, and green check again. So you're going to give a job name. So give a job name that's self-explanatory, so when you retrieve it, you know that's for that table. So I'm going to call it KNA1 4. I've run this 3 times, so that's why I named it 4. And then confirm. So you got a message in the lower bottom lower section here. It says the job has been scheduled, but it's not released. It's definitely not completed because you have to schedule it, release it, and then complete it. And then it's at the finished status. So how to release the job? So you have to go to the T code SM37. SM37. So enter /O to open up a new screen, SM37. So this screen is already pre-populated with your username and then with the date range, which is today. And if you need to expand it, feel free to do that. I want to draw your attention to this section called job status. So currently it got everything selected except scheduled. And remember, the job we just ran is scheduled. It's not released. It's definitely not ready. So we need to check that. Otherwise, we won't be able to find it. So now execute. And you can see you have 4 jobs here. And usually the last one is the one you just ran. So it's this one. So we need to release it first. To release it, you can check the box here and then click release with a green flag and then click immediate because we want to release it immediately. And you can schedule it at a set time to release it in the future, but for now we do that immediately. And then click the save button. Now it says the job has been released. Because it's a very small job, it should be already finished. So it says ready. Once you release it, it says ready almost right away. And you keep refreshing it. Now it's finished. To retrieve the job, use the spool icon. So click the spool list, double click, and now it takes you to a different screen. But you can see it's still not a table. So you still have to go to the table, right? So if you click this type icon, it's going to show you the table. It's the same table we saw earlier, 500 records, but it was running in the background instead of the foreground. So to save it to Excel, right click on the table anywhere and then save to local file. And then make sure you select Excel or spreadsheet as a format. And then everything follows a similar process where you can save it to a local desktop. So that's the process of running this in the background. If you're only running for a few hundred records for the table, it doesn't make sense to run it in the background. You do that in the foreground because it's fast enough. But if let's say you're running a table that's of hundreds of thousands of records, make sure you do that in the background so you don't tie up your session. So that's a quick walkthrough of SE16N. That's a transaction code that lets you look into SAP tables. Whether you're checking customer master data, financial views, or sales views, SE16N is a pretty powerful way to look into the nitty-gritty in SAP. Remember, it's a learning process. Even though you don't get it the first time, watch the video a couple more times. I'm sure it will make more sense. Or if you still doesn't, leave me a comment and I'll teach you there. I'll go find you and make sure you understand. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. It may be SAP, it may be technology, it may be tax, or it may be about real estate investment. I don't know. It's a surprise. Bye.